So guys, this is the Arise TV crew member that was spied at her residence in Abuja, inside her own house in Abuja. Now, this person reacted and said, Somie moved back from the UK because she believes she can make Nigeria work in her own small way. Now, they don't buy am for Abuja. Tinubu, another young blood on your neck. We thank you, official bats. How some Nigerians are reacting to the death of this Arise TV crew member. And this person said, there's more to this story. I believe she was assassinated. Another person here said, armed robber enter your house. He no take money. He no take your car. Went straight to your bedside. 6 feet. Now you are down. Which armed robber no wants money? Which armed robber no wants jolly? Na political armed robber be that. Now waiting they kill Nigeria. Another person here reacted and said, God took her out of this hellhole and she brought herself back. Look at the outcome now. Death. If you are ever opportune to leave this country, please never come back. Death is like arithmetic in Nigeria that we sometimes debate numbers. So guys, this lady left the UK for Nigeria to contribute her own parts to making Nigeria a better place. But guess what? Inside her own house, she was spied. Now, Arise TV has also reacted to her death, and they call it tragic death. Somtochukwu Christe Maduagwu. I'm going to allow you just take a look at this short video from Arise TV, and then you are going to be listening to Senator Ndume, who has equally reacted to her death. Take your time, watch these videos, and just for you to know that the level of insecurity in Nigeria is something everybody should, raise his or her voices on. I mean, Nigerians should speak up. We need to speak up. People can no longer travel. In short, before you take a look at Ndume's video, just listen to what this guy is telling Nigerians about traveling by road in Nigeria now, that it is a no-go area. Take your time, watch these videos, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Hello to our viewers in the US and around the world. I am Somie Maduagwu, coming to you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja.
Delectable, intelligent and bold are adjectives which hardly qualifies Somtochukwu Christe Maduagwu's persona. The 29-year-old barrister first graced Arise News screen as a guest when she participated and won the Miss Tourism Nigeria pageant. Somie went on to represent Nigeria at the Miss Tourism World pageant in Guangzhou, China in 2023. In September 2024, she joined the Arise News team, where she has made her voice count as a news anchor, news producer, and a reporter.
Trump announced on Saturday that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire.
Through a blend of her legal dexterity and her reportorial vigor, Somie advocated for out-of-school children and campaigned energetically against sexual and gender-based violence. One of her most recent coverages was the submission of memorandum for reserved seats for women's bill held on the 21st of September.
I will say the event did not really touch on the hindrances, but just from my study of, the lack of women in Nigerian politics and leadership in general.
There, Somie, alongside millions of other Nigerian women, advocated for a stronger representation for Nigerian women at the National Assembly. Somie's voice is now silent, but her spirit, passion and legacy will endure as part of our collective memory.
Properly educated and that there are less children out of school in Nigeria. From the presidential villa, Somie Maduagwu, Arise News.
My name is Harrison Gwamishu. All these bus drivers from the east going to Abuja, Edo State going to Abuja, Lagos going to Abuja. I think it's time you start telling your passengers, your customers, the truth about the road, how the road is. All right. We all know that the kidnappers along the Auchi Abuja road, Auchi Lokoja road is, they are the kidnappers there. They are, I don't know how to say it, but they are too numerous for you to avoid on the road. All right. So I think it's time you start telling your customers the truth. I think most of them don't even see most of our posts. They are not on social media. I don't know. So understand that it is very, very risky for you to use those road traveling. All right. Now, a driver who was kidnapped along with passengers last 2 weeks was also kidnapped. This just few days ago. He was kidnapped last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks he was kidnapped. They contributed money for his release. The company did not pay one kobo. He came back from the kidnappers' custody. He went back to work. And last week here, he was still coming back from Abuja, heading to Edo State. He was kidnapped again alongside the passengers. And this time around, he was shot. Why the kidnapping is high on that as is because of the bad road. If the road is smooth and clean, I don't think you'll be hearing kidnapping every day. Remember what used to happen Benin to Lagos before? Lagos to Benin. See what every time you hear armed robbery, kidnapping on that road. But it has reduced, although it's still happening, but it has reduced now. So this is what should happen with this road, Awuchi to Benin, Awuchi to Abuja, Lokoja. If you guys can, shut down your services for 1 week and then block the road, protest about it, the government will come and fix it. They will fix that road. The government officials are not using that road, they are using plane. So that's why they are not replacing this kidnapping. It's not happening to them. If it happens to them, they will fix it.
We begin first of all with some very sad, utterly depressing news. One of our anchors here at Arise News has died. Somie Maduagwu tragically passed away in the early hours of this morning following an armed robbery attack that is being investigated by the Nigerian police. Somie, who was 29 years of age, was not only a cherished member of the Arise family, but was also a vibrant voice that engaged and connected with our viewers. She was also a lawyer and a philanthropist, and she will be sorely missed. There'll be tributes paid to her throughout the night and into tomorrow here on Arise News. But back to the present. After a rest and a revamp, I'm back refreshed and ready to ripple out as we delve inside the raucous world of Nigerian politics, taking stock of the backstories and incendiary actions of this country's politicians. One of the most intense of those politicians is, of course, the lawmaker Senator Ali Ndume, a blistering political asteroid whose passionate advocacy against bad governance is so scathing that whenever he speaks publicly, entrenched interests brace for impact. This time, Senator Ali Ndume's focus is on what he says is the ostentatious display and disgraceful cultural acceptance of the spoils of systemic corruption. He's particularly concerned about how the corrupt are able to advertise their luxury lifestyle publicly, flaunting their ill-gotten wealth without triggering any response from the government, anti-fraud agencies, or the public at large. In fact, says Senator Ndume, the government and the people seem to throw the doors of protection open to the corrupt, welcoming all those with resources, irrespective of how they were acquired, and absolving them of any consequences, whilst feeding off their toxic greed. So what does he think can be done about corruption in a country rancid with corruption? Well, for more on this, I'm pleased beyond measure to say that I'm joined now in the studio by the omni-famous political solitaire and former Senate Chief Whip, Senator Ali Ndume. Nice to see you, even if I'm seeing you in rather depressing circumstances, given the news that we started with. But that's one of the things that you've been talking about, security in this country.
Yeah. At one time I was thinking maybe we'll call off the interview because it's very, very sad, especially happening this evening. We just say may her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
And I hope that the police or the security agencies will unravel this as quick as possible so that the necessary judicial action will be taken on such.
Absolutely. But she was a remarkable young woman, full of faith, full of promise.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those tragic things.
I met her once or so. Twice, yeah. It's sad.
And I understand that she had plans to be a senator, so she must have admired the good ones. I mean, I don't know whether there are any good ones in the Senate, but she certainly would have admired quite a few of them, possibly yourself.
Well, I don't know about that, but as I said, you always try to put me on the spot. I'm not the only senator. We are 109. I'm only one out of 109, and you can't say all of us are bad. Well, at least there will be some guys that are just above.
Borderline.
Yeah, no, or even above the border.
Right. Well, let's turn to the issue of the replacement of the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Inec, Maduagwu. His term ends in December. There's a clarion call out for the position to be advertised, for those nominated for the position to be made public, and for Nigerians to get fully involved in the selection process rather than just leaving it to the president to make that decision. Where do you stand on that?
Well, it doesn't matter. The president, as at now, by the law, is having the prerogative of appointing INEC chairman. And the INEC chairman is supposed to come before the National Assembly. I don't know why this is being made as a big deal.
Yeah, but the problem is that people feel that every time people like that, who are so important and significant, come before the Senate for screening, that you tell them to take a bow and go away. I mean,
then we are accountable to the public. If we dare do that, that is what I'm saying. We should be held accountable.
You're saying if you dare do that. You did that. You were supposed to have a person by person vote for the state of emergency. You didn't do that.
We didn't do that.
But who's going to hold you to account?
But
you're the one supposed to hold people to account.
But you know that I oppose that, isn't it?
Yes,
I was
you
there.
did.
I was a single voice. I account for my own. But as I can say that definitely, if the Nigerian public that elect us, and an individual is appointed by the president, and before the nomination comes up, and people are saying, no, we don't want this man. The senators cannot say, okay, we want him. I can tell you that. The voice of the people, in some cases, the voice of the people, we locally say, is the voice of God, not even voice of senators.
Vox populi, the voice of the people.
So if people don't want somebody that is being nominated, or he has questionable characters, or for whatever reason, Nigerians have the right to reject it. And I'm telling you,
how are you going to measure that rejection?
Wait a minute. I'm not standing for the president, but this is a president that is more flexible than the previous one. May he so rest in peace, Buhari. Severally, the president appointed or nominated some people, but before they come for National Assembly screening, he would review them. Rufai is one of them. There's one woman, and then so many others that their names were brought before the Senate, but because of the public outcry, or for some other reasons, like the Rufai case, the president withdrew that appointment. So I want to wait until he announces, and if he's a Nigerian, then so be it with me. And then if he has questionable characters and the evidence are there that he had, bad record, then he will not be fit to occupy that position, and my voice will be heard. Senator? But on the overall, I believe that, we should concentrate on governance instead of all this. Whoever is the INEC person, if he's to perform his duty according to the act establishing INEC and the Constitution of Nigeria, that's okay. But you see, if we are personalizing government and now privatizing it, then it becomes a problem.
Let's move on, and let's start with the big story of the day. I mean, this country's largest oil and gas workers union, Pengasun, is embarking on a strike that shut down oil and gas operations across Nigeria. The action is against the Dangote refinery. You've talked about that quite a bit. Pengasun is accusing them of violating labor laws by dismissing hundreds of workers who opted to join the union, replacing them with foreign workers. Dangote, of course, has dismissed the allegations as patently false misinformation designed to disrupt operations. Dangote says there be no mass sackings and insists that it's acted within the law and in accordance with labor best practices. I mean, what kind of questions does this raise for you?
No, actually, from day one, even long time ago, I was against this kind of so-called unionism that only serve the interests of the individuals within, regardless of the interests of the nation. I mean, this Pengasun is supposed to serve the interests of the country first. And you know this, their profession that has to do with petroleum products affect everything. And this is Nigeria, this is supposed to be a free country. You can't force somebody to be in the union. And if you choose to be in the union...
Yeah, but they didn't say they forced anybody.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, Dangote is a private businessman that established a refinery that is his own. And you can't come from there as petroleum senior staff or whatever they call themselves and impose anything on a private individual.
But I mean,
let me get there. Okay. There's a common example here. We have ASU, isn't it? You know ASU?
Yeah, that's the academic staff.
But the staff of private universities that are getting to about 100 in this country now, they are not part of ASU. It's a private. You have private hospitals all over in this country. They are not part of any union. You have a NUC. They are not part of any union. If you want to be in a union, then stay out of Dangote. That's all.
Yeah, but
well, let me learn, because this is a very serious matter.
Yes, it is.
They are trying to hold Nigeria up. I'm not sure if the whole of Pengas and stuff, or whatever they call themselves. You know why I'm angry? Because anybody that is just thinking about himself and not thinking about Nigeria is my enemy, so to say.
But they would argue that they are also thinking of Nigerians, because the workers...
No, they are not thinking about
Hold on a minute.
Nigeria.
The workers they look after are Nigerians, and they say the issue here, the bigger issue, is of the protection of workers and what this country is prepared to do to guarantee their protection.
Please, Charles, you know that I don't know whether you are part of Pengason yourself.
Do I look like an oil? Am I wearing a hard hat?
No,
Do I look like an oil worker to you?
The problem with the oil people, you just see them as an innocent people, but they are the people just holding the neck of Nigerians just like that. We have over, I think our population now is about 230 million, and then you have people that they don't own the oil, they don't own the gas, they are just the workers. So how can you be acting more than the owner of the it belongs to Nigeria. The oil and gas belongs to Nigerians. You will only act in the interest of Nigerians. If Dangote said he doesn't want his workers to be in the union, so what? Then you just, how many people are in Nigeria there? Those that are willing to, play by the ball, his own. He pays the piper.
Yeah, but aren't
he
there,
is supposed to dictate the tune.
I mean, you're a lawmaker. Aren't there laws around the rights of people to have union membership?
There is also the law. The Constitution, provides that you have the right as a Nigerian. I give you an example. When you set up a private university, your academic staff or non-academic or whatever, they don't join the union. That's why you see people taking their children to, if they can afford it, to private universities, because there you are guaranteed that you pay more, but your child will finish the school at the time he is supposed. ASU now is going to strike today, tomorrow. You don't know when your child will finish school. It's the same thing with the Dangote. But let me ask one question. Where were they when subsidy was removed? What did they do about it? The price went up to 1,000 until Dangote came. Where were they when the refineries stopped working and they were virtually doing nothing and were depending on imported products for Nigerians? And you see queues, and this Dangote was, I think, bidded for NNPC refinery in Kaduna and Warri, a group of them Nigerians. The same Pengas, or what you call them, sabotaged that one. And then Dangote just moved aside because he is patriotic enough, invested his own money, over 20 billion, into it, and then some guys will come and tell him how to run the place. That's nonsense.
Right. Well, this is not the main topic of our discussion. So
okay, so that's why.
Let's round it off. Let me just round it off by asking you this. The federal government's waded in as a sort of middle-of-the-road person, middle person. What do you think is likely to be the upshot of all of this?
The best thing is for the president, if I'm in him, is to sign an executive order calling them off.
How do you mean calling them off?
Yeah, no Pengasum.
You mean dissolving them?
Yes.
Well,
he has the right. He has the big stake. The will. He should.
Well, I doubt if he will do that.
Abacha did that one time.
Well, Abacha was a military dictator.
No, but
we presume that your APC president, I mean, the president in your APC,
I think I don't mind,
is less of a dictator than Abacha was.
Okay, but in this case, I don't mind if he can be a dictator, because certain situation deserves very drastic. I mean, I get angry. If I were
but I agree with you to the extent
because
that,
look at it.
just the president has the right to take action in defense of the country.
The price of premium, this thing was 830 just day for yesterday, but today it went up. It went up to 900 or so. Who is going to suffer?
Well, they argue, Pengerson says there's enough fuel supply in reserve to last at least 30 days.
Do they have any fuel?
To last at least 30 days, and there won't be any disruption.
Do they have any fuel?
Anyway, we'll watch and see what happens.
I mean, Nigerians are already out there.
Right.
If I know how to find them, we will protest against them. I will lead.
Well, let's turn to the main reason for this interview, corruption in Nigeria.
That's part of what Pengerson is doing. They are just a corrupt institution milking on the Nigerians, and they even now holding Nigerians by the neck.
Well, beyond Pengerson, I mean, corruption is not just at the top levels. As you yourself have pointed out recently, it is pervasive throughout the population and culture, and has been that way for decades without a pause. How big a stink do you think swirls around the issue of corruption in Nigeria?
Charles, this issue of corruption, as you know, you are a Nigerian too, and almost all of us, or everybody, even those that are involved, are becoming worried. Because if you are a thief, no, not you as a person, but if someone is used to stealing and he's not sure of securing the stolen good, then it becomes a problem. So even when you steal, and you keep it somewhere, and somebody feels comfortable to steal what you have stolen, then there's a big problem. If we don't address the issue of corruption, as there is this saying, that if you don't kill corruption, then corruption will kill you.
I think the issue you raised, which was what piqued my interest, is that you were asking why Nigerians glorify and celebrate, glorify corruption and celebrate those who succeed in it.
It is because, first of all, like, I'm a politician and people are expecting much from me, so they try to compare me with others that have questionable source of wealth and expect me to do the same because
so you don't have questionable wealth.
Well, I cannot I cannot evaluate myself.
Well, I mean, you know what are in your accounts, you know where you get your money from.
I don't think you will believe me when I tell you what is in my account. And let me take a simple bet. Give me all in your account and let me give you mine.
I like that. I might actually agree to that.
No, agree to it now, and we have witnesses here. I swear to God, let's sign on it.
Right.
So I know myself. But I'm not saying that everybody has his own way of thinking of. But in this country, you know, Charles, unexplained wealth is being celebrated.
True.
Questionable wealth is being celebrated.
True.
That affects our total resources. In Nigeria, people that steal publicly, you know that this somebody who is, let me give you an example of us in the National Assembly, or some of us. They come here, they don't even have a good car to ride, they don't have a house, but within the short period, we know our income is known, even with the ones that you guys are shouting that is too much. Like in senators, everybody knows that the cost of running the senator's office is about 20 million, but his salary, or my salary, as at last month when I saw, was 750,000 naira. But you see somebody spending at a go maybe 100 million naira or at an occasion, and people will just say, oh, in our own in the church, you go to the church, you get the front seat, and the pastor will say, God has blessed so and Jesus has done so. And then when you go to the mosque, you are in the first queue, even though it's not supposed to be like that. He will come late, or sometimes even the imam will wait for him, just because he has unexplained wealth.
But is there a paradox in the fact that most Nigerians you speak to will tell you they hate corruption?
No, I don't think so.
And yet they are complicit in the same act that they condemn. I mean, I don't know if you read the article by this guy called Mohammed Abdul Salam on the subject. Brilliant article, but he does a very good job of pointing out the nexus between culture and corruption in Nigeria. He writes for Primer Africa.
Okay, but let me say, first of all say that, you know, next tomorrow will be 65. Nigeria itself. I'm older than Nigeria with 1 year. I will be 66 in November. When we're growing up, we knew that especially politically exposed people are subject of scrutiny in the eye of the public. The famous Sardauna Ahmadu Bello was jailed on a suspicion as related to revenue of the government. And so many others. I know of my people who went to prison because they cannot account for the common jangali, what you call it, local taxes. But today, you see, most of us, the politically exposed people, have virtually like corruption has been legitimized and people don't even think about it. They sleep with their two eyes closed or even celebrate it. Even when some of them, when they go out, they are declared as criminals and jailed, and when they come back home, they are celebrated. And
but why doesn't that kind of thing ever raise the hackles of the people in the National Assembly who represent the Nigerian people? I mean, corruption is something that is plaguing this country on virtually every level. It's in the schools, it's in the markets, it's in the hospitals, it's in the ministries, it's everywhere. I mean, and the National Assembly is there to represent the interests of the people. No, why is it? Is it because they themselves are allegedly active participants in that process?
I'm not here to defend the National Assembly or to even blame it, you understand? But the fight against corruption is supposed to be a collective responsibility. In fact, it's supposed to start from the executive down to judiciary and then the corrupt anti-corruption agencies. We have the ICPC, we have the EFCC, we have the DSS, we have even the police, or even the judiciary itself. And let me admit that we have very nice guys that can do their job heading these institutions, especially this time, because I personally know the chairman of EFCC. I also know the chairman of ICPC, and I know that of DSS too. These are guys, and the institution can be useful to start addressing this matter. Not the type they're doing now by just media trial and all that. No, this is supposed to be covert operation, and that's why I say once, like in Britain, they have what they call UWO. Unexplained wealth order. They will just go and obtain an order from the court, and then what you have that is above your normal income will be confiscated until you prove ownership or the source. That's been done there.
Yes, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, in the US, what they do is they confiscate first. And then if you think that it belongs to you, then you go and prove it. But in Nigeria, it's not the case, because our law has a lacuna, and that is the biggest problem. In other criminal offenses, you are presumed guilty until proved, until there is a proof beyond reasonable doubt. You understand? But reverse is supposed to be the case.
Well, you mentioned the people who run the anti-graft agencies. I mean, you talked about the EFCC chairman and so on. It's interesting that they themselves, who are supposed to be fighting graft, are often hounded out of office. I mean, with allegations of corruption trailing them. Yeah. I mean, virtually every one of them. I mean, their tenures ended with some form of controversy. Involving allegations of impropriety, and even in some cases they were arrested and detained. I mean, so if the allegations are to be believed, at least some, if not all of them, become allegedly the criminals they're supposed to be going after.
Yeah, because that is normal characteristics or this thing of corruption. When you're dealing, it's everywhere. Even in the, it's like they're dealing with criminals, mostly like politically exposed persons, Then you are talking about drug dealers. In some cases, you are dealing about criminal businessmen. You know, they will go out of their way, or they will go too far to implicate or bribe you or come around. So it's not easy. But as I said, the cream of head of anti-corruption agencies we have now, given the right instrument, they will be able to do a good job.
But is there pressure on people like yourself in positions of influence to be corrupt? Because Nigerian society, I mean, you've said this before, encourages very high expectations of you if you're in a prominent position. So for instance, if you don't give contracts or positions to your people, they'll say you're a fool and that you're selfish. So the more you share your piece of the national cake with your people and your friends and your cronies, the less it is considered corruption by them, and they'll come to your defense.
You're right. In most cases, as I said, corrupt people are tried. So I think few in Nigeria were tried outside, and some of them are even jailed. But when they come back home, they are being celebrated.
That is true.
The opposite is the case.
Good evidence of that.
Yeah, the opposite is the case if it is outside, because of the shame associated with that. Some even commit suicide.
Yeah, and you're virtually ostracized.
And then some of the countries are completely intolerant. Just day before yesterday, a minister in China, Jiang, or what is his name, was sentenced to death.
A whole bunch of people were also sentenced to
and the senator,
today, actually.
Senator Mendes
or yesterday,
was alleged to have collected bribe from Egyptian government. He's now serving, I think, 5 years imprisonment, including his wife, because he was given.
But you don't push for these things. I mean, you're
how can I push something?
You're the lawmakers.
No,
why don't you push for this to become law?
To be fair to us in the National Assembly, we established ICPC, we established the law, we established EFCC, and then we gave the DSS powers. And I'm a legislator now asking the president or the government to sponsor an executive bill on unexplained wealth. So it's not like, because this corruption at the end of it doesn't help anyone. Because if you steal 1 million today and then you share it and then maybe you keep just part of it, next time more people will be coming urging you to steal more.
But that's pretty much what is happening, isn't it?
Yeah, and it will go. No, thieves are being celebrated. There are some of our colleagues that, because of the position they are occupying or the influence they have, you know, they dip their hands or they connive with.
When you say you mean your colleagues at the National Assembly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of them cannot explain their wealth anyway. And that is what we're talking about.
But nobody asks them anyway, so they don't have to explain it, do they?
No, I don't think so. As I said, number one, these are people that constantly cycle around the powers to be.
So they feel protected.
They feel protected. And then some of them even pay protection fee. You know what I mean with that? It is.
You mean like the mafia?
Yes, when they steal, you know, the money, or then they also
to keep the rabble rousers quiet.
Quiet.
Well, you're a rabble rouser. Do they try to keep you quiet?
No, I don't think so. It's only when, you know, it's only when you have something to hide that you fear.
So they avoid you because they know they might come to you and you go on the television.
No, it's not like that. So many people used to go on television, but they can't find anything against them. For me, as I said, I wish if this thing would be adopted, and I should be the first one to be.
Yeah.
Called.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing this to public attention, because that is the way that you have been. You've always been a kind of forerunner. I was wondering when you were going to come up with a new word for this kind of behavior, because I mean, you've drawn our attention to words like kleptocrats, kakistocrats, etc. And I expect you to come up with corruptocrats.
No.
or contractocrats, which is a government.
No, but you forgot one thing. There are a lot of plutocrats in the system too.
Yes. That is true.
But you don't blame the plutocrats because they are going in there to make to profit from the government. And let me also say that I just don't create those words. Kakistocracy.
No, I know. It is in the dictionary.
It's in the dictionary.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you draw attention to
as I said, on a serious note, Nigeria has to do something about corruption. And I repeat that if we don't kill corruption, then corruption will kill all of us.
But what about the prevalent notion that if you are a politician, it doesn't matter what shade of politics you pursue, never criticize the ruling APC, which is your party. Instead, join the party and you'll be fine because all your EFCC problems will disappear. Is that a fact?
No, I don't think so. But I can say that whether deliberately or by default, some people will be in the system and no eyebrow is raised about allegations or accusations that has to do. But suddenly, when they have a brush with the government, then they try to come after him. At one time, I think, as I was following my own case, I discovered that they have to find something to talk about it. And at one time, it has gone off now, but it was on social media, online, this thing, that I am one of the richest senators. In fact, the 10th one with over $500 million. And
and you said, no, I'm only worth $100 million.
No, I said, if I have $1 million, I will be with you in London.
With whom?
With you. You will get me an apartment or I'll buy a house. I'm telling you. Yeah. So for me, if we are really going to find corruption, it should start by me being investigated to explain.
And you're happy to be investigated?
I will be. Because I'm politically exposed person.
Yeah.
They should check my bank accounts or what I have in the bank and call me in to explain how I got that balance. That is, if there is any balance anyway.
Well, let's see what happens.
And before I forget, we agreed that you are going to transfer all your monies in the bank.
No, we didn't agree.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm just told that we've got, the time has been flying. We've done, almost 45 minutes. But let's talk about politics briefly, because you've been fist bumping, mingling with members of the ADC opposition coalition. Some of their messages seem to politically connect with you, such as that your party is running this country, badly, but they haven't managed to convince you to leave the APC. Is it still your position that you want to change things from within the APC?
Yeah, I still maintain that. There's this saying in Hausa. I will explain in English. The Sabon Guinea, Gara Yapi. What that means, instead of building a new house, you better fix So I'll try to do that. But as I said before, if the cracks and this thing, the rafter and everything is going, especially, and then if it becomes better or necessary for you to build another one instead of staying in this one that will collapse on you, that is it. I still believe that things can be corrected. I still believe, and I still wonder what is happening. But when you have a good captain and the crew are not good, that is another thing.
So you think Tinubu is a good captain, but the crew around him are
Tinubu,
not?
I believe that Tinubu has interest of this, but I don't understand what's good. I must confess, Charles, because you see, this is the same man. You can't. There are certain things that are happening. For example, I raised it here in terms of appointment, but he responded, and now people raise issues of imbalance in infrastructural development, and then you see that is what is on the ground, and then you see people announcing about programs, which is beautiful, but people don't see it, people don't feel it, and you begin to wonder. What is happening? Unfortunately, as I said, unless he takes drastic measures, the kakistocrats that have dominated the system, and unfortunately, again, most of them are still kleptocrats. And you find it very difficult to convince people, especially when you hear something.
So guys, let's quickly take a look at some of the reactions from Nigerians as regards to this Arise TV crew member that was spied. This person said there's more to this story. I believe she was assassinated. Hey, God, this one is scary. Oh. Another person here said, armed robbers enter your house. E no take money. E no take your car. Went straight to your bed, 6 feet. Now, you are down. Which armed robber no want money? Which armed robber no wants jolly? Na political armed robber be that. Na waiting they kill Nigeria. Anyway, they said this lady wants to become a senator, and she's an advocate for women to have a place in politics. And this person said, is it the president that told armed robbers to buy her, or the president himself comes for her? Let's be realistic in this country. Why do you attack the unscrupulous element called, why don't you attack the unscrupulous element called armed robbers that shot her? Let's be responsible as individual citizens. This person saying, God took her out of this hellhole and she brought herself back. Look at the outcome now. Death. If you are ever opportune to leave this country, please never come back. Death is like arithmetic in Nigeria. That's that we sometimes debate number. This other person said, the funny thing is no investigation, nobody to hold accountable. This country don't value life. There's something to, okay, let me take it again. The funny thing is no investigation, nobody to hold accountable. This country don't value life. This something no one is talking about. This something no one is talking about. It should be once someone dies in a questionable way, investigation should follow. But no, the police will not do their job anyway. Don't. And this other person said, I think my biggest anger here is that nobody will be held accountable. No exhaustive investigation will be carried out. And in fact, no arrest will be made. Just the same old. That's the most infuriating thing about this. And this person tagged Bayo Ononuga and also tagged Tinubu. Okay, he said Bayo Ononuga and Tinubu are yet to either tweet or send condolences to Arise TV and Somie's family. Bigotry at its peak. They have failed to protect him or her because of his tribe religion. Because of his tribe and his religion. Visiting Nigeria after seeing all the visiting Nigeria after seeing the all-time high level of lawlessness, killing, corruption, insecurity, criminality, terrorism, and buying. Now, it's like a dead wish. Nigeria goes to death trap. This person say, wait, to be reasonable for once. Was it Tinubu that sent armed robbers to buy her? Or is she dragging seats with Tinubu? Must we call the him for everything that happens in the country? A guy was shot in the US. Nobody called Trump out. The way you guys even portray this country is something else. Yes, they call Tinubu because there is no security and everybody is just complacent. What is happening in Nigeria cannot be happening in the US. See, before Trump came in, Trump had to deport people because he felt the environment was not safe for even business people to come in. You know? So Trump did what he's supposed to do as a president. Trump tried to sanitize the environment. Even before Trump entered White House, they've deported so many people they felt was a threat to America. But here now we are talking of bandits. Nobody is doing anything. So sad. And Nigerians keep disappointing her. You know? What about the council chairman? What about the FCT minister? I think it is time. We Nigerians to start thinking about local responsibility. We here and the council chairman should take the flake of this. No doubt Tinubu self should collect. But those people are primary. I think all of them, not just, you know, So guys, I don't know what you make of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.